It makes me feel like I keep saying that. And I can't even put it into words how I feel about this. How's it going, guys? Mike here. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a quick story time. As you can see here, I have my beautiful, amazing Super 73 RX. And, you know, I have just crossed the 300-mile milestone, I guess you can call it. And it's been fantastic. It's been really fun. But what we're going to be talking about today, and you've seen it in the title, I got 2 tickets. So yeah, 2 tickets riding the Super 73. Before we get to that, I'm just going to do a quick background on what I was doing, how I ride, and a couple of the things that went into leading up to this moment. And then I'll give you a quick breakdown about what actually happened. I'll show you on Google Maps what the place actually looked like, so you can, 1, not get a ticket yourself, 2, hopefully help me, give me some kind of advice on how to deal with something like this, because I've never gotten a ticket in my entire life. I don't even have a license. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So here is the actual ticket itself. What you can see here, bicycle or skateboard failed to stop at red light. So that is huge. That is a bold claim. I dropped the marker. That is a bold claim coming from the NYPD. And is it true? Yes, it is. I did drive through a red light. And like I was saying before, here's a little bit of background on how I ride. I ride using a full-face motorcycle helmet, my TSG Pass helmet. Beautiful, beautiful helmet, and I love it. And when I'm riding on this bad boy, it looks amazing together. When I do ride, I usually try to maintain more of a motorcycle type presence. So I usually ride in the street, I stay behind the cars, and I try to follow as much of the laws as I can as a motorcyclist. But if you've ever been to New York City, you've seen these delivery guys on their bicycles. Unfortunately, riding an electric motorbike, you get lumped in with those guys. So, me being myself, I'm riding from my apartment uptown into the Bronx, and I'm looking to go to the doctor. I need to get a COVID test for my job. So it's kind of early in the morning. This is in the afternoon, 12:30 on the dot. So early for me, I guess. I'm out there, I'm riding. The ride is going beautifully. The lights were in my favor, so I was just going straight and it was going really well. No problems. I always hand signal whenever I'm turning, and a lot of the time I will be courteous to people who are walking, mostly because people assume that I won't be. So as far as pedestrians go, I always try to give them the right of the way, and when it comes to road rage and stuff like that, I try to avoid it. On my boosted board, I used to get really, really angry at other people. I stopped doing that on this guy. So this is 230th Street in the Bronx, and it's underneath the 1 train. So as I'm coming down this way, there is, as you can see, a red light here. The red light is mostly for people to cross coming out of this mall area, and also for cars to turn up this place, Kimberly Road, or Kimberly Place. But, as you can tell, cars cannot turn left. If you are coming from this direction, you cannot turn left here, right? This is a one-way road. Secondly, you cannot turn right here because you'd be driving into a mall, okay? Keep that in mind. I'm coming up this way. I just came over from here, and this is a highway. There's an off-ramp up here, and there's a really long sweeping turn here. As I'm coming down this way, I try to stay on the right. I'm coming up this way, but a lot of the time, and from what I remember, there was a lot of cars parked here. Worst nightmare of mine is to be driving down and then get doored, if you know what that means. The door gets flung open, you slam into the door. People die that way. I don't want that. So I decided to come back into the street and ride up. As I approached the stop line over here, there was a car stopped, and I went around him to the right, and I decided to continue through here and then get back onto the road. Okay? I did this for two reasons. One, I saw that it was completely safe, but two, around an area like this, stopping behind a car, there's a lot of fear that if you approach a light and you stop, another car is going to come behind you and just slam into you. Okay? I've been watching a lot of Reddit, and there's a couple of subreddits that are all about car accidents and stuff, and I don't know why I keep watching these things, but I've seen so many incidences of, I've seen a lot of videos of people driving up, coming to a stop on motorcycles, and just getting absolutely obliterated from behind, and it happens. I don't know about you guys, but I really don't want that to happen to me. So, that was my choice. I decided to go around. Once I saw that it was safe, I continued. Now the important part here is, like I was saying, if you're a car and you're stopped right here at this stop line, you cannot turn left and you cannot turn right. You can only go straight here. When I was pulled over, the cop, Officer Durgadine, was very adamant to point out that I was wrong to go around the car because if the car were to have turned right, then I could have gotten hit. Where is the car going to turn right to? There's nowhere for it to stop there. None of those are valid parking spots. So if he did turn right, he would be in the wrong. Another thing is if I were to go around to the left of him, no, he couldn't turn left, but that's not what happened. So we're not going to get too speculative here. In the end, that was a bicycle-like maneuver. I was not riding like a motorcycle, but I did it in self-preservation. I decided to go around this vehicle so I won't get killed. And in the end, I made it through perfectly fine. But then, on the very next block, Officer Durgadine and his buddy decided to pull me over. So that's what the first ticket is for, going through the red light. Did I ride through the red light? Probably. I can't prove it or not because I didn't have a dash cam. I'm going to be getting one for moments like these, and I recommend that if you ride in New York City, you should definitely have a bicycle cam because there's a lot of things that can go wrong and there's a lot of things that you might need proof for. So, when it comes down to it, running through the red light, I don't know if I can fight this one because it's the most ironclad thing. If they have the dash cam footage of it, then boom, they got me. But my problem is with the second ticket. The second ticket is for improper operation of bicycle, and that was when I went around the vehicle, okay? Officer Durgadine's argument is that by going around the vehicle, I could have gotten hit by that car, okay? In that moment, I was riding like a bicycle. And I think it's completely ridiculous to expect a bicycle to stay in the lane. There's so many reasons that things can go wrong when being a bicycle out on the road, so I chose to do this in an effort to keep myself safe. I don't think that that's the most egregious act, especially considering all of these other delivery guys zoom through red lights. I've seen it thousands of times. These guys go barreling through red lights. They almost hit pedestrians. They get sideswiped by other cars and they keep riding off. There was a lot of other things that could have been done wrong. There was a lot of other things that could have been done right in this situation. But unfortunately, what this led to was me having to pay first. Well, I haven't paid them yet. We'll get to that. Me being asked to pay $198 for one, and I can't even tell what the hell this other one is for. I can't tell how much I have to pay for it, but they're saying most other violations, $138. So this is another $100, $200 ticket. That means that in the end, I could be spending $400 on one mistake. Damn, that really sucks. And it was just me going to the doctor on my bike. So, now, where do I stand with these tickets? Well, I was issued these tickets on September 10th. You have to respond within 15 days of actually getting the ticket. And you have to tell them whether you plead guilty or not guilty. And oh man, guys, you have no idea how stressed I am about this. I don't want to pay $400. So I'm inclined to plead not guilty so I can get a court date and tell them what I'm telling you now. Obviously, I'll have to prepare myself a little bit more than what I'm doing now. But if I were to plead guilty, which is online, if I were to plead guilty, it would pretty much just say, all right, man, how do you want to pay this? And I'll just pay it and hopefully be done with it. Or, like I said, I can plead not guilty, go to court, sit in front of a judge and I don't know how many other people. I'll probably be number 40 in line, and it'll be a complete toss-up whether I get scoffed at and be forced to pay it regardless. That'll be a waste of time. Or what they say on these papers here is they say, yeah, you can plead guilty or you can plead not guilty, but if you plead not guilty and we find you guilty, you might have to pay even more. God damn it, man. What am I supposed to do here? Durgadine was being a fucking dick to me, and he didn't have to give me 2 tickets. He could have just said, you ran a red light. Do you realize how dangerous that is? You shouldn't be doing that. I noticed that you, 1, don't even have a license. I had my expired permit from 2 years ago. He can say, I noticed that you have no formal experience, so ignorance of the law is not an excuse, but I can give you one this time and say, come on, man, be better than that. But no. Instead, Officer Durgadine decided to follow me down the block, pull me over, give me 2 tickets right off the bat, and go about his day, leaving me, someone who is absolutely on the right side of the law, now here with a very long rap sheet. And man, it feels fucked up. I feel stupid. The one thing that's for sure is that this totally changes the way that I ride now. When I do actually go out and ride, I ride like a motorcycle 100% of the time now. And sometimes it does get me in some very scary situations where I don't want to be. I don't want to be on the road surrounded by cars. I don't want to be going down 2nd Avenue and having to choose between the really crappy bike lanes, which we can talk about later, or the way that these taxis drive around, man. It's just so scary. But you know, now my predicament is, am I going to plead guilty or not guilty? Typical Michael fashion, I've been procrastinating the hell out of this just because I'm so anxious over it. I have less than 3 days to make my plea. And if I do decide to plead not guilty and go into court, I'm going to have to present them with everything that I've just presented you, which doesn't really feel like much. So it's really discouraging. The bike itself has been amazing, and I've had such a blast riding it. So even though this situation does kind of hamper the fun a little bit, it still is not going to take away from the great times that I did have and will be having on this bike. The one takeaway for this though is that I need a GoPro. I need to have a GoPro on me at all times so I can, 1, feel safer while I'm riding, just in case something were to go wrong, God forbid. Or if I get into another situation like this, I might have some kind of proof to back up my claim. At the moment, I'm kind of empty-handed, so that's why pleading not guilty is kind of scary. I don't know if they're gonna see my not guilty plea as me trying to get over on them, and then they might say, boom, now you gotta pay even more money. That would suck. Best case scenario though, and it's really hard for our minds to jump to the best case scenario in a situation like this, but the best case scenario would be I go there and they say, all right, kid, you did run through a red light, but the other one, unnecessary. Just pay the first one and we'll move on with this. Even better case scenario is they say, get a load of Durgadine over here. Get these out of here. Go home, kid, ride your bike. That would be awesome. And apparently that does happen. I've heard stories from other people saying that sometimes the officer doesn't even show up, and if the officer doesn't show up to defend himself or the story, then you get off. I don't know if I'm ready to roll the dice like that. I really don't. But there's my story, guys. I hope that this was valuable to you guys in some way. I hope that you were able to at least laugh at my mistake and my misfortune. There's a lot more videos about the Super 73 RX coming up, tickets or no tickets, and I will update you guys eventually on how I actually followed through with these. So make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, it really helps me out, and share this video with somebody else. If you share the video, it helps me out a lot. It gets me one step closer to actually being able to monetize my videos so that maybe I can buy a GoPro. But in the meantime, I'll see you in the next video.